This is Blue from Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals and Superjoint. This is Backstage Access, where the real show begins.
Hey, this is Chris with Backstage Access, and we've got none other than Blue from Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals here with us today to talk about their upcoming tour, their newest record, and everything extreme about metal.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. We do appreciate it.
No problem.
So it's been about 7 or 8 months since the latest album came out, Choosing Mental Illness as a Virtue, and it's just sick, man. It's heavy, it's extreme, it's just awesome. What kind of was everyone's mindset going into the making of this album?
Well, when we got together to start doing this one, I think it was really growth as far as the band. We had decided to move on without Marzi, and Philip just had all this, little ideas. And we really didn't worry about, I guess, as far as like being a full band at that point in time, because, like I said, we didn't know really what we were going to do. So we just kind of sort of just went crazy and started writing as much material as we could.
Sure.
And then once we got Mikey and Walt, everything just sort of took shape and really came together. But as far as all being together at one time and being a quote band when we wrote all this, it wasn't really like that. We just sort of, like I said, had the wild hair and just went crazy, started writing on this material, and then the rest of the pieces fell into place.
Right. Now, how do you think, obviously there's new people on this record, so it's going to be a lot different from, Walk Through Exits Only, but what do you think is the biggest difference between the two records?
The biggest difference to me would be the feel. I think the first album is very herky-jerky, but still, it has its moments, and
right.
It's very, very, it's a lot of fun. This next album is just an insane amount of information to digest, coming at you for 1,000, at 1,000 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
But it still has its groove, and it's fun, and it still moves you. So, I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest difference I've seen is that it's a little bit. It's way more extreme to me. The second album is 100 times as extreme as the first.
Right. Now, how did having new members and kind of writing this album help the creative process? Did it just kind of free it up to just kind of like do whatever and see how it works?
Well, we kind of like I said, we just go bananas when we write material, and we sort of decide later how heavy, if it's too heavy, because during the same time when we wrote we would also take time outs to like mess within minor songs or whatever, anything. When we're in the studio, we just write to write, unless it's a specifically planned thing. But there have been times where Superjoint recorded a song or messed around with a song and be like, oh, that's too heavy, we got to use that for the Illegals.
Okay, what about your drum parts, specifically? Yeah, do you kind of have an idea going in what you want to do, or you just kind of like let it develop as the song develops?
Oh, no, it usually just happens on the fly.
Okay.
And then if I want to change it later, I change it. There it is. This is studio magic.
But the record, it doesn't really have that studio magic feel to it because it's just raw and it's just energy. So how did you guys kind of achieve that in the studio setting?
Well, everything is still being recorded at Nosferatu's lair on Philip's property. So, everything's basically being recorded with almost the same stuff that he used to record a lot of his old stuff back in the day. So we already have the basis of a classic tone and a feel. And with our engineering, how we do things there at the house, on bare bones, I think it makes it easy, but the technology's come a long way, so it's just a lot easier to get a good sound.
Sure.
And now it's just, you can make yourself sound however you want, really, depending on, and you don't really have to spend an arm and a leg. So that's just what Philip likes. Philip has that ear, and he likes it to sound a little bit more raw, less polished than most stuff. So.
Right. Now you guys have a tour coming up, and this was originally going to kick off in the spring, and then Phil had to have surgery, so it was kind of postponed. So first of all, how's he doing? Is he all good and ready to go?
Oh yeah, he's looking good, feeling good, ready to go out there and kick some ass.
Good. Now it's been a while since you guys toured at as the Illegals. So what do you think opening night in New Orleans is going to be like next week?
I think it's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think people are really excited about this project, and they know that it's an extreme thing. I think the very first time the Illegals went out on the road, people had this sort of idea of what it should be. Maybe they thought it was going to be like a Pantera-esque ripoff for Philip.
Right.
But once they heard what the band was, they're like, oh, what the fuck? This ain't what I thought it was going to be. And so we made some fans, and we maybe lost some. But for the most part, everybody's really okay with the idea that the Illegals are a very, very extreme band. Different. So it'll be fun. This material is my shit.
Now you've got a few festival dates sprinkled in as well, and I know I saw that you're going to be on the bill for Forced Fest in Mexico. That is going to be just out of control. Are you looking forward to playing, in front of such a huge audience and getting the music out there?
Oh, absolutely. I love giant crowds. Giant stages aren't necessarily the best sounding stages.
Right.
But man, it's a dream come true to just be up there and soak it up. And then on top of that, if we have the opportunity to play Pantera covers and stuff like that with Philip, it's really the closest people are going to get to that experience.
Right.
From now on. So that's pretty important. And I can't imagine, South America, basically everywhere else in the world, they're just balls to the wall for music. And here in the States, we're kind of sort of spoiled. You know what I mean? We're not as hardcore about it. You still have your hardcore fans, but man, Mexico's going to lose their shit.
Yeah, that's everybody says that about South America and Mexico. So I think it's going to be a wild time. And you do anticipate playing some Pantera songs in your set on this tour?
I'm not sure about on this tour.
Okay.
But I know for a fact that we'll probably end up doing some.
Good.
Go to
right.
South America. It's just Philip hasn't been there in years, and yeah.
Cool, very cool. Now, what about your kit when you're going out on tour? Do you have to make any changes or do anything differently?
I usually just no. I mean, I play with a single rack tom, 2 floors, 2 kicks, and snare. Pretty easy, bare bones snare, something to smash on. Kit just set up as ergonomic as possible. Nothing too crazy with the cymbals, and just I got over a lot of fears and a lot of sort of peeves and stuff like that when we toured with Danzig, with Superjoint, because a lot of the times I'm used to being the headliner with my band, and my kit would be set up and on stage, and I get a sound check and basically know that my shit's ready to go.
Right.
The Danzig tour, since it was so punk rock, I was using the scaled down kit for Superjoint. My kit wouldn't even be set up until right before we played. So I had to get over all these fears and over all these little issues that, were basically just in my head and just go for it. And so now I don't give a flying fuck. As long as I can sit down behind the kit, I'm going to do my job. That's my attitude now. It's nothing that's going to stop me from performing to the best of my ability, regardless of the issue,
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Now, you mentioned Superjoint, and you've been on board for both these Illegals albums and Superjoint as well. When and how did you first meet with Phil and start playing music with him?
I met Philip when I was 18 years old, and I met him because Bruce Corbett told me he was going to get our band signed. Bruce Corbett from Rigor Mortis, War Beast.
Okay.
And he did. He kept his promise, and he was friends with Philip. And Philip wanted first crack at putting out the War Beast album. And so I met him when I was 18, and I'll never forget. It was one of the most exciting and intimidating things ever. My shitty drum set that I recorded the album on in this gigantic room, in this gigantic studio, and then Philip walks in and it's like, whoa, dude. And then everybody's just sort of looking at me because, I have to record my parts by myself. And dude, it was crazy. But then the first time I stayed with him and jammed with him, just me, that was even crazier because I got to sleep in what used to be his old bedroom. It's his trophy room. So he's got like his accolades from the years, gold, platinum records. I mean,
Right.
gold and platinum records that were gifted to him from other bands. And it's just insane, man. It's absolutely surreal. It's extremely surreal. I just remember growing up, being a kid, watching the home videos. I never ever thought that I'd be riding with him and jamming with the band, but I'd like to think I earned my spot, and I got plenty of energy and plenty of creativity left in me, and so does he. So, we're gonna ride this motherfucker to the wheels.
Well, were you always into the extreme metal, or what were some of your earlier influences that you kind of got you into playing the drums?
Well, when I was old enough, I guess I was like maybe 11 or 12 when I started getting into music, and around that time, that's when new metal and all this other shit was really hitting real hard. Slipknot was just, was really, really popular.
Right.
So I kind of, when I first got into it, that was the first batch of bands that I was exposed to. But then once I got a hold of Pantera, everything just sort of changed for Pantera, with like Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, and Slayer, and just all the classics. And they just sort of never went back. And thanks to Slipknot releasing the Duality album, that really, I bought that album, and that was the last CD I ever bought, because I didn't like it. I didn't like the production. I didn't like the guitars. I didn't like the sound of it. And I owe Slipknot releasing that album for showing me that I could really be an individual and like a band, but not necessarily like their entire catalog.
Right.
Because I don't like it, and it changed my opinion about him. And it's like, wow, I can like Joey Jordison, but not give a shit about that album. So from then on, I just stopped buying CDs, and I was all about just playing music and creating music and doing it with all my friends. Like, I'm not I just don't. It just showed me that you're not always gonna. Your favorite band might not always be as consistent as you want them to, and you can still be a fan and be an individual and still support them, even though you're not up their ass about everything.
Right. Doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Because I fucking hated that album.
Be honest. Don't hold anything back.
I mean, hey, I'm still a fan.
Right.
I can't, but that's what I expect from everybody else. You know what I mean? Be a fan,
right?
Be supportive, and go out and rock the shit. But you don't fucking, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like there's a lot of people that are probably feel that way about the Legals, like they're all or nothing. There's probably some people that don't like this new album compared to the first album. But hey,
right?
It is what it is, and we're doing this because we love it, not any other reason.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way. The best way. If you guys are happy with it, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody's going to really like it because it's just total chaotic and crazy, and I wish there was a better word for extreme because it's more than extreme.
Yeah, it's pandemonium.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to pull out the thesaurus and look up some words for extreme, but that is it. That is it. Now, is anything going on with Superjoint after this? Will you guys be kind of doing any writing or anything on deck with that at all?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would imagine that it's about time that Superjoint get together just to stay relevant. And it's fun to jam anyways, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my guys have planned.
Okay.
I know that the Illegals are definitely going to, we have South America. So I think we're probably going to try to pepper in as much stuff as we can and maybe have a couple writing sessions. And I don't know. I'm ready for it all. I'm ready, and I'm excited to be a part of it and to be a part of the Housecore family. man, this illegal stuff, this is my shit. For me, I feel like this is my time to shine.
Absolutely. It's a ridiculously good record.